All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It. I'm your co-host, Mr. William Burties, and that theme music you heard in the beginning is no longer our theme music. It's the theme music to President Clinton James of K-Rap. That's his official presidential music when he walks down the aisle.
Yes, yeah. I'll take it.
Give me my theme music.
Right? Give me my theme.
All right, we already starting off today. We're going to introduce our co-host, Mr. Clinton President James.
Yes, this is Clinton James, your new install president for California Association of Real Estate Brokers. Yes, and also your local real estate broker here in San Diego. I want to say welcome to Tuesday. I always say we're taking over Taco Tuesday. It's Let's Talk About It Tuesday. And I always tell y'all where y'all can find me on the corner working on my self-lane and inspiring others drive. Let's go.
See, when you do that, you become president.
All
right.
It's easy. It's easy.
And our guest co-host today, Mr. Dion Westbrook.
What's going on, gentlemen? I'm happy to be back. I also want to say congratulations to my brother over here becoming the new president of K-Rap. Appreciate you, man. Congratulations. I know we're going to do a great thing. Looking forward to work with you here with the local San Diego chapter and just doing some great things.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
In store. I know it's been a long road, and you're there.
Yeah, we start from the bottom. Now we're here. You know what I'm saying?
There we go.
Now the real work begins, like you said.
That's right.
By the way, can I get a discount on my property taxes since you got some pull now?
That's above my pay grade right there.
All right. Well, today we're going to talk about home buying in 2026. I can't believe 2025 was almost over with.
Yeah,
So
man,
quick.
it's going by fast.
And
Life is going by
I
fast.
feel like it should be like 2022 or something like that. But yeah, if 2025 wasn't the year you bought your home, that's okay because 2026 is coming and
That's
it's
right.
your time. And for those who already own a home and are looking at doing more things in the future with your property, we hope to give you some advice on that too. We're going to start off the show today because we before we even came to the show, we already had questions.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so
Yes.
we want to address
Hot
some
topic.
of those questions today. The first question is so a family member, a senior citizen family member, got into a reverse mortgage, and apparently they were paying a very low mortgage payment, and then found themselves in reverse mortgage, and now their family members, their grandkids, and so on, want to see what they can do to get ownership back of this property. So I'm as Dion, is that possible? Can someone who's got into a reverse mortgage, can they somehow get back to the point where they can get out of that reverse mortgage?
Yes. So in this situation, it was, from what I'm hearing, was set up where the grandmother was paying a very small mortgage payment, and someone unfortunately talked her into doing a reverse mortgage. Now, doing a reverse mortgage is not a bad thing, so I want to make sure I'm clear on that. But if you understand what it is, and also if you're someone who has family members, anyone that you plan on leaving a property to, you want to get them
Right.
involved in that situation if you're going to do one.
Right.
And so, unfortunately, this person wasn't taught to get their children or grandchildren, whoever else was going to be in place, involved with that situation, so everybody could understand what was going on. Also, just understand what they were doing.
Right.
Right. And so, you definitely want to make sure if you ever think about doing a reverse mortgage, get your family involved.
That's
You know,
right.
so I want to cover that part
That's right.
first. It's not the worst thing alone, the worst type of loan in the world. As long as you know
Right.
what it is and what's going to happen in the future, then it's okay to do. But if you're not willing to, take the risk of what happens when you do that loan, then
Right.
you don't want to go down that path for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so basically what the reverse mortgage is a program where if you're someone of age, everybody thought it was 62, but now they actually do have some where you can actually be 55.
Right,
Depending on
55
which
plus,
type of
yeah.
equity that you have to have a substantial amount of equity, probably like 70% now.
Right.
When the rates were in the twos, it was the reverse. You could have like 30, 40% equity and
Right.
still do it and
Yeah.
be, depending on what age you are. But now because the rates are much higher, you're going to need probably like 60, 70% equity
Right.
to be able to do it depending on what age you have. And so the way the program works is you set yourself up to where you don't have to make monthly payments at all.
Right.
But the mortgage is going to be increasing the amount of interest that you should be paying based on whatever rate that you agreed upon when you did the loan. So you actually have a rate and a monthly payment attached to it, but you don't have to pay it.
Right.
And so whatever the amount of interest is based on the rate that you have, your mortgage is going to go up that amount each month.
Right.
So depending on your loan amount, depending on the situation, it can get up pretty quickly, depending on the situation. So you have to understand, like, hey, if I'm doing a reverse mortgage, my balance is going to be going up over
Right.
time. But I tell people, listen, again, it's not the worst loan in the world,
Right.
depending on what you're going to do with it. So
Right.
you no longer have to make that mortgage payment. What are you doing with that money?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
are you setting yourself up? Are you putting it into a bank account? Are you
Right.
investing it somewhere?
Right.
Are you doing something with it to go buy other properties? Like, what are
Right.
you doing with that money? So, again, if you understand how it works and what you can do with the money that you're using when you're no longer making a payment, it's not
Right.
a bad thing.
Right.
And so there are ways to getting out of it, right?
Right.
So when you do a reverse mortgage, a lot of people think, oh, when I do that, the bank just going to take my mom's house, whoever house it is,
Right,
Once
exactly.
they pass away, that's not
Right.
the case.
Yeah.
You're giving several different options to set yourself up for success,
Right.
for someone to be able to take over the property,
Right.
once the last person on loan passes
Right.
on, right?
Exactly.
So you'll be given opportunity for a family member. Now, first off, let me backtrack. You want to set up beneficiaries. So
Right.
anytime you do this loan, you need to have you want to have several beneficiaries
Yeah.
if you can set in place, so
That's
that
a
way
trust,
they'll go
yeah.
down the line to be given opportunity to make a decision on what to do with the property.
Right.
Once the last person on the loan
Exactly.
passes away, so they'll be given an option to either they can sell the property if they want to. So they'll look at your situation. If the house is underwater, meaning it doesn't have any equity in it, and nobody in the family wants to move into the property or anything like that, they may just that's a situation where they may let it go, let
Right.
the bank take it, right? But if it's a house that has equity in it, right?
Right.
Somebody might say, hey, we want to sell this property.
Right.
We want to sell it and get as much equity as we can out of it, and then disperse it to the family, do whatever we're going to do with it.
Right.
So that's another option they'll be given. Another option they'll be given is you can actually, if someone wants to actually take over
Right.
the property, you can refinance it into their name.
Yeah.
So if someone has if they can qualify to refinance the house into their name based on wherever the current loan amount is at that point in time,
Right.
it's going to be going up over time. So they're going to look and see where the loan amount is at that time.
Right.
They're going to look at the value. They're going to look at the person who's trying to refinance this,
Mm-hmm.
their income, their credit, what I mean, assets, things like that, and see
Right.
if they can qualify to take over their loan. So if that person can, then they will give them a certain period of time. I think it's anywhere from like 6 months to a year or something. They give it a certain amount of time. I know it's changed recently. It used to be like 4 to 6 months.
Yeah.
But I think they might get a little bit more time now
Yeah.
to make a decision. But they'll be given an opportunity to refinance the house into
Right.
their name. So that's what they would want to do in that situation.
Right.
They do that now before the person dies.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
So they can do it while the grandmother is, or if it's a grandmother for our situation, if
Yeah.
she's still on property, they can refinance it with her on the loan if they want to. You know what I mean? And she doesn't have to make a substantial amount of income. She has like fixed income, like Social Security or something
Right.
like that. They can use that, and when the grandchildren can come on along with their income, and they could just refinance, and she could put them on title and on the new loan, and bam, they can get out of it just like that. So it's very easy. They don't have to come and spend $200,000 or pay it back down or anything like that. They can just refinance where it's at right now.
Right.
And then
What happens if
understand what
they-
payments are going to be?
If they don't do it, if the person passes away and they don't do that, what happens?
So that's when we go back to what I was saying before. You want to make sure that you have beneficiaries set in place, so they'll be given an opportunity to make a decision on what they want to do with the property.
Right, pretty
if
much.
nobody's set in place, that's when.
And that's where and I'll
Yeah,
kind of talk
there you
about
go.
the real estate perspective of that too. So when anybody's going to explore reverse mortgages, please, I have to say, definitely get a trust, right? If you're exploring reverse mortgages, try to talk to an attorney, an estate plan attorney, and they will set up a trust for you. Why that trust is set in place is to make sure that if anything happens, dead or alive, that there are stipulations in place that will make sure that the asset is being distributed or saved. Right, you can put as many things, as many criteria in the trust as possible that will actually help you determine how that asset is distributed, how that asset is treated after, or even if you are incapacitated. Right. One of the things that people always look at is that there's two types of trust: irrevocable, revocable trust. Right. They always want to try to be in a irrevocable trust because what happens if anything should happen? Say. And I'm not saying that reverse mortgage is a scam. This it's not, right? But if, per instance, there's a threat of say, okay, well, yeah, we think should be someone is scamming the person into a reverse mortgage, the trust actually kicks in because now in the irrevocable trust, everybody who's on the trust has to be acknowledge that they are going to actually do it, be putting a lien on the property, right? Because you can't refinance a trust. You have to take it out of the trust and then put it back in. And it's just a quick thing that the bank does when they do reverse mortgages. So it alerts everybody who's involved in that trust, all the hires, all the trustees in that trust are actually have to be involved in making sure that, number one, if you're taking it out of the trust to actually refinance or put another lien on it like a reverse mortgage, they have to be involved in what's going on too. So putting in a trust is very important. If you're 55 plus out and you have assets, yes, definitely. I would say hands down, start talking to an estate planning attorney. And definitely we have a lot of those people that on hand in our business who we can refer you to, right? Who can actually help you with setting up that trust in a way that it protects your asset. So,
Yeah.
So, see, a comment here says, teach, stop selling houses, generational wealth forever. No one ever homeless. Go get dark money if need be.
what is dark money?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know dark money.
Okay, maybe need an explanation on dark money.
Yeah.
One thing what is dark money? Tell us what's dark money, but we'll answer the rest of the question.
Yeah, and one thing I will say too, so and when it comes to the grandmother, like she doesn't necessarily have to, she can refinance on her own
Right.
if she can qualify. So she
Right.
doesn't have to bring someone else on a loan if she doesn't want to. If
Yeah.
her income supports her refinance into a regular
And
loan.
my question is,
then
have
she
you
could do
done
as
that
well.
before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with someone who's done that before.
Yeah.
With
Yes.
taking someone from a reverse mortgage back to another conventional
Yeah.
regular loan.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can go from a reverse mortgage to another one if you really
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah.
Depending on the situation, if it makes sense for you. But again, yes, you can come out of reverse to a regular loan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be scared. Talk to a professional.
Yeah. And a reverse mortgage is just another loan program, but it's just has the criteria
Yeah,
of
exactly. You got
55
to understand
plus.
how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen, and I'm glad you mentioned that reverse mortgages aren't a scam. They're not a bad thing because I think a lot of times people look at it that way. I think it just depends on your scenario where I've seen people in bad financial straits, and the one value that they have is their home.
Mm-hmm.
And to keep that home and to not lose it, sometimes a reverse mortgage might be something
Right.
Yeah.
that they need to do
Yeah.
to kind of get their feet together or get things together, and then
Right.
they can eventually get back to
Right.
owning that property
Yeah.
again.
And I think one thing.
No, I was going to say, one of the things that the reverse mortgages have been helping, especially 55 plus retirees too, is that when they retire, they go on a fixed income, right? And then one of the things is deferred maintenance in the house. Maintaining the value of that house is very important,
Right.
right? Because I've seen people, the deterioration of the house is so bad that now the house could be condemned. Right. So what happens is, and that's because they're on fixed incomes. They can't go with a fixed income, a small income, to get a loan or refinance. So that's where the reverse mortgage kicks in.
Right.
Can you use that to actually keep the value of the house and maintain? If you have any
Right.
big capital expenditures like roofing, any type of like updates, anything like that, definitely reverse mortgages are there for that too.
Yeah, and I just think it's important just to point out too, like if you're gonna put somebody in a reverse mortgage, teach them what to do with the money that they're looking.
Right,
Like
right.
that's whenever I talk to anybody about reverse mortgage, depending on how much money they saving, I start to talk to them like, if you're saving $1,200
Right.
a month, oh, that's gonna be $14,000-$15,000 a year. Like, what are we gonna
Right.
do with that $14,000-$15,000?
Right, and on the application, they ask them, they tell them
Yeah.
specifically, you can't use it to invest in assets, in like stocks and gamble and stuff. But that's just a question. They don't know. I know they do have the HUD counseling too, right? When they have to.
That's
go
what I
through
said.
that.
They do counseling.
I see another comment. Says, I had a friend whose mom did a reverse mortgage, but then she died and couldn't get anything from it.
It just depends on the situation.
Yeah.
If it was a property that had equity in it, then they should have been allowed to do something with that property, sell it, or make a decision on what to do with it.
And let's keep in mind too, if for spouses, so say there's a reverse mortgage, once that spouse, even after marriage, lives after, if they were married after the one spouse got the reverse mortgage, if that spouse, they're married and that one spouse passes away, once the surviving spouse lives in the property, the bank can't foreclose on the property, right? So it maintains a reverse mortgage, right? So it's not like if one person is under one person's name and that person's passed away, once they're married, that spouse can actually live in that property until they actually pass away too, and it still maintains a reverse mortgage.
Okay.
Yeah,
You got
I was-
clarification. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, but that's why it's important if you do this program to make sure that everybody that might potentially, whether it be your spouse, your children, anyone that might potentially be in line to take on that property, they need to come because they can do the counseling with you.
Yeah.
So everybody, you can't do it unless you do counseling. So make sure everybody understands you're never going to do this loan without getting counseling done first. So you're going to get taught how it works and what to do now and also in the future.
Yeah.
But you want to have anybody else that might be involved in what's going to happen with that property down the line
Right.
involved in their training as well, and they'll allow you to do
Exactly.
that. So that's important.
So we got clarification on what dark money is. It's a group of folks that get together and have a pool of millionaires. I need that. That want to help and help the loan. Help and the loan is dark, but you can get the money and keep the property and not have to pay an outrageous
Made up the label
amount.
dark money.
So,
I'm talking about
yeah.
mob money or something. It'll break your legs if you.
Hey, listen, if we have a group of people like that, we definitely need to start connecting with them and finding out how legit it is and what they will do. So that would be.
Yeah,
we need a group like that. We'll
Well,
talk
you
about
know,
that.
if you start this dark money thing, I might be one of the first people. You know, there was another question that was brought to us too before we began too, which is about quit claim deed.
Okay.
You remember the question?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. You bring it
So
up.
I mean, I think the question was about quitclaim deeds. Is how do you get somebody to actually be on the title? Put somebody on the title.
They want to put their kids
on the title.
on the title and
Right.
make sure something happens, they don't.
Yeah.
Lose it, yeah.
So there's many ways that you can actually put somebody on title. There's different forms of it too. One of the most common is tenants in common, where you can put somebody on title. Now, if you already bought the property, and that's one of the easiest ways to protect, make sure that if anything should happen, somebody else is on the property with you, just to make, especially the kids or spouse or somebody who is actually, because I've seen it happen where. I mean, I'm not saying like I'll say spouses, like living spouses, not married, but they've lived in. One spouse has invested a lot in the property, and that person passed away suddenly, who owns the property, and the spouse gets pretty much nothing, right? Because number one, they weren't married, but that spouse is actually was part of invested in a lot of property and can't prove. But the thing is that spouse now has to prove that he was investing in the property, and that's the tough part. If it's over years and years and years, it's tough to actually get that done. So a lot of times I would say always, quit claim deed is the easiest way and the fastest way to do it. You can deed it as tenants in common, or in California, when you're married, two people. If you're married after you bought a property, it goes in as community property, right? So I mean, so you talk with what I would say, talk with a title officer or an attorney, and or you can come to us for a consultation. We'll determine what is the best way to actually to deem that title, to write up that title, so that when you actually put that person on the title, whatever happens after death of one person, it's easy to actually just transfer the property over. Right, you can even do percentages, right? So it's a certain percentage of, say, you have three people. You want somebody having 50, the other have 20, and one person has 30. You can put that all in the title also. So there's many ways you can actually write up the title in a quitclaim deed to actually reflect what your desire is in terms of making sure that somebody, your heirs or the people who are going to inherit the property, is on title to just safeguard it.
Now, let me add something to that real quick too, though. So what you also need to make sure is that if you're thinking about adding someone to title, you want to know that you're going to do that before you do the loan, because some loans you can't add people to title. They'll call the loan due immediately. So especially like down payment assistance programs and stuff like that, certain type of government loans, like you can't change personal title, they'll call it due immediately, and you don't want that. That means you have to buy the home loan back. That's a problem. So you need to make sure that you understand what your goals are up front before you do any type of loan program. And you're thinking about adding someone on title, make sure that you check the type of loan that you're doing and it's allowed, because I promise you they're on it. Like I had a client who, I let them know ahead of time, like, hey, whoever's on the loan, there's only people that can be on title. If you can't change it. And I guess he thought I was playing. He tried to add somebody to the title within a week. I got a call like, hey, this person tried to add somebody to the title, tell them they need to take it off or it's going to be a problem. And he had to take them off like within a couple of days. Like it was that serious. So they don't play. They're on it. They check it. So you need to understand ahead of time the type of loan that you're currently in or the loan that you're about to do. And if you want to have people that's going to go on the title, make sure you can do it before you do that loan, or get
Yeah.
the type of loan where you know you can add them down the line, but first. So
Yeah.
that's something to pay attention to.
And that's where you consult the mortgage, the loan officer, the mortgage consultant too about that. The other thing I would always advise people, if you're going to do that, make sure at least that you have the properties actually about like maybe free and clear, close to free and clear at least, right? Because at the end of the day, the bank is going to want to make sure that their property don't have a clouded title when it comes to getting their money back. That's the main thing. The bank wants their money back if anything should happen, right? So they don't want to have a clouded title or where it's hard for them to get that money back if the asset actually comes due, right? So.
And the way they can maybe get around that, so if they want to add somebody to title, is if you're going to bring that person on, you could maybe refinance it to another loan. You don't have to take cash out. You could do what's called a rate and term refinance, where you simply change the terms of the loan.
Right.
Now, you only do it if it makes sense. So, you're not going to take a higher rate just to add somebody a title. But if the rates are in a position where it makes sense for you to lower the rate, or maybe you do need cash out, you can do it, and that can help you, make your situation better. You can do that and then do the type of loan where you can add them to the title for that new loan. So that will be a way to get around it if you really just want to add them to the title, do a refinance, add them to the loan and the title that way.
And who did need to
If it
call
makes
if
sense
they
to
need
do
to do that?
You can call me.
Call me.
But no, you can call anyone that you have
attorney,
that you work
attorney,
with,
or a real
yeah.
estate attorney or title rep will actually be able to help you with that.
So things are doable.
Yes.
Things aren't.
It's a loan for
don't
that.
have to last forever. Once you
It's flexible.
yeah, once you sign on to reverse mortgage, once you get a loan or purchase a property and it's just you on it, things don't have to stay that way forever. Things can be changed. However, definitely talk to an expert so they can guide you. Don't be like that gentleman Dion was talking about, saying he don't know what he's talking about. I'm going to do this anyway. And then you find yourself in a I didn't told you so type of thing.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, one last thing I want to say that I always tell every person who's looking at adding somebody to title, especially if they're spouses, is always include right of survivorship, because you can put it in a joint tenancy or tenancy in common, but if you don't put right of survivorship, it's still up in the air of when that person passes away, what's going to happen.
So that trust is extremely important.
Yeah.
Because that basically, would you say that trumps, not trumps, but when someone passes away, they have to follow the trust.
Right. This trust is automatically starts being executed.
Right.
Right.
So in overall, it may cost a little bit of money up front, but it will save your family a big headache.
Big headache.
Yeah.
Because the only option you have a trust, if you don't have a trust, is probate, and that's where it goes to court, right? And you have limited authority and full authority, which means that it depends upon whether or not the parties that involve agree, right? So that's the only other option if you don't have a trust. It goes straight to probate.
And if you're a current homeowner and you do not have a trust, that's okay. You can still put your property in a trust. Just go to your loan officer again to make sure they can help you with that process.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So if you put the property in the trust, you don't have to add the person to the deed. If you put it in the trust, that they will be the next owner.
Yeah. You don't, but it's
Well, you wanna do
recommended
both.
you do, right?
Yeah.
Just to protect, just to have it locked safe, because somebody can contest the trust, right? So say it's not a family member, because I've seen people who would caretakers, or even if you want to deed it to somebody like a nonprofit church, you can put it in the trust, but at the same time, too, somebody can contest it because they're family members, right? So to avoid any type of contestation, you want to actually put it on the title and then also put it in the trust also.
Yeah, the transition is much more smoother.
Yeah, way smoother. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're almost 30 minutes in, and
Those important topics, though.
it's very important topics because if you make the right decisions when it comes to your property, then that gives you what we're trying to talk about is building generational wealth.
Right.
If you're not even there yet, you're not even to the point where you got to think about where someone was at to get a reverse mortgage.
Right.
Which means they purchased that property a long time ago. They
Right.
purchased when they could,
Right.
not when. Let me test the market.
Right.
Rate for interest rates to do
Drop.
this.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not investing in a property. You are buying a place to live.
Because that's a good topic, because to segue into like our topic of what we're discussing real homeownership in 2026. Because one of the things that I think we're going to see because of this year is that this year we have had across the United States, it's been the highest amount of homes that are free and clear ever. So most people own their homes outright, free and clear, right? So that's one of the
I
things.
need some of that dark money to do
Right. So forever, the first time in the United States, we have the highest amount of homes that are now free and clear. And so that means two things: is that people are holding on to their homes.
Yeah.
Right. They're actually holding on to their homes. Also, it means that those homes are now being freed up. So it's causing the inventory on these properties, which I would say a lot of them come. Maybe you look at more baby boomers that are holding on to their homes, so it's not they're not downsizing, right? That means at the end of the day, that's some of the inventory that people have been talking about. But it also raises the question that these are the consumers right now who need to be talking to estate plan attorneys. That's why reverse mortgages, the topic of reverse mortgages, is so important now. Right, I think that's a great topic because, as I said, you'll find that any home that's free and clear now qualifies, and the person is 55 plus, they can qualify for a reverse mortgage easily now. So just having that topic as one of the top topics going into 2026 is going to be important.
And I like what Francine said. Do it now while you're on this side. Yeah.
Please
let fight when you're watching The Kingdom. Yeah, I agree. And also get that life insurance, Gerber baby stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Not
Stop
only
them car
life
washes.
insurance, mortgage insurance too. You get insurance where you can cover your house if something happened to your spouse,
Yeah.
where you can get the house paid off. So that's a important insurance that we need to start teaching people how to get as well when they become homeowners. So that's something that
Because
we can start talking about.
if you never get a divorce and you own a home, eventually it will happen.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm
absolutely.
not sure if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. Absolutely. No, it's just more things we need to start teaching people how to do to set ourselves up to
Right.
get wealth, but also protect our wealth. So
You know what this sounds
we gotta
like?
start talking about all those different things.
A home ownership workshop. We need to do another homeowner workshop.
There you go.
I'm ready.
Home ownership workshop.
We need to start doing them regularly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So 2026 is coming. What should people be looking out to start the process of home ownership, you guys? Where can they start? They don't know where to start. Where can they start today?
For 20, when you say where can they start?
What's the first thing? They have the idea, I want to own a home, I just don't know what to do. I need to save up 20%, which means I need to save $100,000. I got about $8,000 in my bank account.
No, I mean, I always say this. The first thing you need to do is sit down with either a mortgage professional or if you have some type of counseling, like the HUD,
Right.
different type of counseling agencies that might give you an idea of what you need to do to start the process of becoming a homeowner. Me personally, I'm a lender, so I'm going to tell you, talk to us first. We're the ones that's going to help you get the money. We're the ones that, we're going to look at your credit. We're going to look at your overall situation, your assets, and we're going to find out what you need to do to be in a position where you can qualify for a home. And if you're not able to do it, we're going to teach you what you need to do to get there. So we'll go over your credit. If there's things that need to be fixed in your credit, we're going to teach you how to do well. If they're experienced enough, they'll be able to teach you what you need to do and or connect you to the right people that's going to be able to help you get your credit up. If you need to save funds to have money for a down payment, they're either going to teach you how much you need based on your situation or go over potential programs that you might qualify for that can help you with that, like down payment assistance or first-time home buyer loan programs. There's a lot of great programs. Like, for instance, one I want to talk about for a second is the Dream for All program.
Right.
That's a program that they're rolling back out now. The funds are going to be available early next year, 2026. So that's a loan where you can get up to 20% that can go towards down payment and closing costs up to $150,000.
Right.
So if you meet the requirements and you set the loan up properly, you can buy a house with really no money out of pocket. To where you're putting 17 to 16, 17%.
You have to be a
towards down
first-time
payment.
home buyer?
Yes, you have to be a first-time home buyer. You have to be. There's a lot of criteria that come along with it, but that's
Which
where
means
give
you
us a call.
haven't owned a
Yeah.
home in 2 or more years.
3 years.
3 or more. Yeah.
3 years, but one of the people have to be like a first generation. So it's a lot of different guidelines that go along with that program. You know, we don't have time to go over that. But if somebody's interested, and you want to find out how you could potentially qualify for something like that, hit me up. If you have a lender you work with and they're certified to be able to do the loan through CalCFA, hit them up so that way you can ask them what it takes for you to be able to become a homeowner, because it's a great program, and I have a few people that just got into a home recently. And just so you know, if you're someone that, I want to bring this up too, if you're someone that was on the list last go round and you didn't get picked, you need to go and check your emails and see, because I had 2 people, and there's several people that, because the new round's coming out, they're going back to the people who were on the list that didn't get picked the first time, and they're giving them first dibs. So I got 2 people that got approved to be able to do it that didn't get approved the first round, but they got first dibs. So now they're buying houses right now with that program. So make sure you go check your emails from CalCFA and see if you got any emails saying that you got selected to do it now, even though you didn't get the first round.
Yeah. Right.
So that's important to go check. But stuff like that, programs like that, talk to a lender, let them go through your situation, run your credit, go over your whole overall profile, and then teach you what you need to do to become a homeowner. I tell everybody, it's free. You know what I mean? So you have nothing to lose, but you have so much to gain by sitting.
So much to
simply
gain.
sitting down with someone that's going to show you your whole situation and show you what you do and put you on the path to homeownership.
I always tell my story. I just wrote down on the book when I was 22, become a homeowner in the next 3 years. I didn't know where to start.
Right.
I didn't know where to. What I started doing is I just started going to open houses.
There you go.
And looking at, and one guy said, "Are you being pre-approved?" I said, "No." He's like, "Why are you going around looking for houses?" Like, "Man, you know what? If you get a loan, I ain't coming to you."
But well, you talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, I said it to say, start moving in a way as if you're going to purchase a home.
Absolutely.
Don't take yourself out of it, regardless of where you're at this point in time in life.
Yeah.
Because when I wrote that, I didn't have a job. I didn't even have a car.
Right.
I remember early 20s, my mom was coming to pick me up, and I was thinking, like, man, I need to get out of this. And in less than 2 years, I was buying a house.
Nice.
So
nice.
I say that to say you have to have faith. God gave people the spirit of abundance.
Right.
And the moment you think you can't own a home is you're immediately working in a deficit, and you're telling God can't do it.
Right.
I'm going to preach to y'all today.
Yeah, it's so true. It's the manifestation thing. I tell every client, every first time I'm buyer, I always tell them, you got to start every big thing, it starts in your mind. So if anything that was created on earth, just keep in mind, start up here in your mind. So you got to start thinking in terms of what does your home look like? You got to be thinking about that consistently. One of the questions I ask all my clients in my orientation is, tell me what without any barriers, without any money, tell me, close your eyes if you have to, and tell me what your home, your dream home looks like. Right? Because now you start planting that seed in their minds where, I can see myself in a home. Because that's where it has to start. You have to be able to see yourself in a home in order for you to start making those steps. Because a lot of people do all the stuff around home ownership, try to start doing everything, but in their mind they still have that doubt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to get rid of that doubt first and start moving forward. Now, one of the things that I want to point out for 2026 in terms of what we see is tight inventory on the real estate side. You know, inventory is still a little bit tight, as we can see. There is, especially in San Diego, I can only speak for San Diego County. I mean, I think in the September, I think the average amount of homes that was sold was 16,000, around 16,000 homes that got closed in San Diego County. So that tells you the market is very tight. And just to give you a comparison, there's over 18,000 agents, real estate sales agents in San Diego County. So when you have 1,600, that's less than 1%, right?
You said 1,600.
Yeah, 1,600.
You said 16,000.
Right? No, 1,600, right? So
I'll say that's a
in
lot
September.
of
September. Right. So one of the things is that inventory is very tight. I'm seeing that in the market. I would tell, and a lot of people are talking about exiting or not following through on their homeownership dreams in 2026. A lot of people are thinking, the dream of homeownership is dead. That's something a big topic right now because everything is unaffordable right now. Every single thing, prices are going up, right? But and home ownership, I mean, homes have gone up. The California Association of Realtors is expecting the median price home to be $905,000 in California.
Man, listen to this.
That's close to $1 million.
I was helping someone out the other day, and we went to go look at an apartment in the rent. And I walked into the apartment, and it was like, you know them tiny homes?
Right.
It was almost like that.
Right.
And I was like, how can you even put a bed or a couch? Like, how do you even fit this in here?
Right.
And the rent was over $2,000 a month.
Right. Right.
Which I'm mentally, I'm thinking this rent should be like 800,
Right.
900. You know,
Right.
You're like, what
20
year is this again?
yeah.
But that's the thing. That's the thing.
You to live in San Diego,
Right.
it's expensive.
It is.
compared
It is.
to most other cities.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where we things like the Dreamfall program, down payment, we're going to see a lot of that coming in 2026. I think rates are going to be a big topic. There's going to be a lot of pressure on rates to actually come down because we have, even with I think it's in May or March, I think Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, he's supposed to be retiring, right? So his term is up. So there's going to be a lot of pressure right now, especially with what's happening in the economy for rates
So
to
use
come
your
down.
bully pulpit president to get the interest rates down.
Yeah, right. I wish.
One thing I want to kind of hit on too, like
Yeah.
we were talking about rates, and actually two things. I want to go back real quick because one of the things I want to kind of hit on too, when it comes to the first steps, is especially within our community, we got to put our pride to the side.
Right.
You know, a lot of times we don't want to work with lenders or anyone that looks like us,
Right.
or anyone. We got to
Right.
put our pride to the side.
Absolutely.
You know, when we get so many people that don't want to work with people that look like us, because
Right.
they say things, oh man, we don't want people in our business, man. I want them to know my business,
Right.
Or, you know, or the other thing too is they have all these myths and ideas of what it's going to take for them to become a homeowner. Oh man, I got student loans. Well, guess what? We don't. When we're looking to qualify for a house, we don't care about the balance of your student loans. We look at the payments.
But don't you got a confidentiality that you have to do when you help a client?
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, we can't give anyone's personal information,
Right.
no matter what the situation is. You know what I mean? So once we start talking to you, your information is completely private, and we have to keep it on file for a certain, you know,
Right.
it has to be locked up safe. So you don't have to worry about your information. These companies most of them are all multi-billion-dollar companies.
right.
They're
And I
not-
would say,
they're not trying
and I know
to lose their license over one
You've
person.
done it, and I know you've done it. And I would say, I've helped people with loan opportunities or just looking at their finances, and we all had mutual friends, and those mutual friends never knew that I even did that with them
Right.
unless they said something.
Right.
So I kept it mum, and people like Dion keep it mum too. Like he could be helping somebody right next to you, you don't even know, because he has to keep it confidential. So yeah, don't put your pride to the side
Yeah.
because you know.
Don't assume anything.
Right.
Don't
a lot
assume.
of times I tell people,
Yeah.
you know, don't assume anything. Don't think because there's programs for people with lower FICO scores. There's programs for people with, you know, not that much money out of pocket at all. There's programs for people who have high, you know, student loan balances. Like, and we
See
can
this
teach you how to
question?
get on an income-based program if you do have, you know, something with a higher payment. So,
So
there's
does-
ways we can teach you. You just got to give us a call first and give us the opportunity to guide you and teach you what you can do
Right.
to become a homeowner.
So does
I tell people-
BIPOC get do we get to bite the apple first with your down payment assistance program?
They have programs like that, but to be honest with you, there's some that are better than those. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
they're like those shiny thing they dangle in front of you, but it still may not be the
Right.
best program for you. So there's programs like that we'll look at and see if that makes sense for you. But if it's not the best one for you, I'm gonna teach you all
Right.
the different options that you have,
Yeah.
and make sure you do what's best for you at the end of the day.
And that's the key. You may see a loan program, say, you know what, that may fit me. And you sit down with a loan officer and realize there's a better loan program for me.
Right.
And that's okay. Don't be attached to that
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
particular program you
All they
came
want
into.
that
Right. Right.
And the people be like, "Oh, I want to do that program. That's the one I heard about." And, okay,
Right.
well,
Just
I
buy
can
the
soda
house,
water. I
okay?
can't make you drink it. I'll tell you
And so-
right now, this might be the way you want to go. You sure
Right.
you want to do it?
So Clinton Dion, let me ask you guys this. What you guys' experience helping people become homeowners? What's the biggest emotional or lifestyle benefit people talk about once they buy their first home?
Once you buy the first home, I mean, there's so many things that happens in terms of you buying your first home. And one of the things we got to understand is the transition from having be paying rent to actually owning a home, right, or paying a mortgage. That's the transition. Now, one of the things that people have to get accustomed to, I've always seen, is that you only have two options when it comes to purchasing on kids. Just keep in mind, a home is a necessity. It's food, clothing, and shelter. An economic necessity is shelter. You only have two options. One is to rent it, or you can own it, right? And that's the unfortunate part about it, right? Or you can be home free, right, where you don't have a home or shelter, right? But at the same time, too, you need shelter. So the thing is that a lot of people fall into the rental category. They say like at least 60% of the population still rents, right? They're 40%, and now to have to transition over to that, it's a big, I think is the barrier of a lot of, how to put it, narratives that they have, that they fall into. Because pretty much, for instance, San Diego, right now, rent is almost the same as a mortgage, maybe about $500 difference, right? So that extra $500 can now help you purchase a home. But you have to understand the benefits it comes with. Now, especially with millennials, right? They are big on renting. The majority of all the developments happening in California right now is rentals, right? All these construction that you're seeing all over the place is apartment rentals, because they're seeing that there's a huge demand for that, right? Now, there's pros and cons to renting, and then there's pros and cons to buying. The pros to buying will always outweigh the pros to renting. Why? Is because you have, number one, the generational wealth factor, right? Now, everybody talks about the generational wealth, right, factor. Yes, that is great. Now, not only do you have that, you have the tax savings factor, right? You have tax savings in terms of ownership, benefits, right? Then on top of that, you have the inadvertent, or the inadvertent the savings. You're saving inadvertently, because keep in mind, I always tell everybody, when you're paying rent, everybody's focused on, the rates are high right now. I want to wait till the rates come down.
What
right?
rate are people paying on rent?
100%. If you really look at it, you're paying 100% rate on rent, while you're paying the average market rate on a mortgage, right? And then also you are benefiting from the increase in value. Not only is you're benefiting from the increase in value, which is going to help with your savings, you're also benefiting from paying down your principal.
Okay, for someone who's brand new to this, what you're saying, you purchase a home. Mm-hmm. You said you benefit from increase in value.
Right.
What does that mean?
Equity. And equity basically is the difference between your principal, or the amount that you owe, right, minus the value of the home.
Which you can do what with?
Which you can invest, you can do, you can pay bills, you can buy another home, you can actually start a business, and that's the advantage. That's one of the big advantages that we'll see that has created generational wealth and the wealth gap in our community, right? So that has contributed widely to the wealth gap that's happening right now that's so prevalent.
Yeah, that first one is always the hardest one for most people. Once you get that first one, that becomes the bridge to building wealth for your family.
Right.
If you do it the right way. People do crazy stuff. Unfortunately, we can't help that. But if you have someone you work with, they teach you how to manage your wealth the right way. You know, and what to do with that equity when you get it. Doesn't mean you have to sell the house. You can take cash out and do different investments. You can do different things with it. So having the experience and the knowledge is power. Once you have the knowledge on how to utilize your asset and utilize your home and manage it the right way, that's when we can start building wealth within our communities and our families at the end of the day.
So this is where I tell people, start somewhere, right? I mean, right now, home ownership is almost like a dream for a lot of people. It's almost out of reach for a lot of people, but start somewhere, because the home that you want is not a home that you might get, right? I mean, in your mind, everybody who moves to San Diego is like, we want to live next to the beach, right? That's what we're moving here for, right? We want to live at least 2 to 3 miles. They're calling you on the phone, and they're like, hey, how close can I get to the beach, right? Or how can I get to the coast where I have a nice view? Those views right now is close to $1 million. If you have any view of the ocean, it doesn't matter where in California, you're paying at least between $500 to $1 million, right? So So one of the things is this: right now you have to use real estate in California, just like because you're competing with the big investors now, right? Because keep in mind, your money that you want to buy a home to live in is now competing with the big investors. And why? Is because it's something called leverage.
No, and you guys' history has value. If someone bought a home in 2021, 2022, has their value increased in their home if they bought then and did nothing now, didn't get didn't refinance, didn't do anything? Have values gone up on homes from 2021, 2022 to now, 2025?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and the reason I asked that question
Yeah.
is because people then were saying house prices are high.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
and
gonna get higher. That's why we always say, don't
Yeah.
put off tomorrow what you can do today. You
Right.
need to be the person who owns a house while we're on that trend of the values going up
Yeah,
over
yeah.
time. There's always peaks and valleys of home ownership, but overall, it's always going up
Right.
over time. So you want to be someone who owns a house when the values are increasing over time.
Right.
So
And
don't put off tomorrow what you can do today. That's why I tell people the
And
best time
that-
to buy is today if you can afford it.
And just to give you an example, I did an experiment back in 2000 when we were in the pandemic, right? So I put a search in California in the MLS for all the homes in the whole of California that were $100,000, right? I put $100,000. The average home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, right? There was over like maybe 110. Today there's 0. 0 homes in California for $100,000, and we're talking about from the pandemic 2000 to 2025, right? So in 5 years' time, all is, I mean, there's none. If you put in a search, and I'll tell you, go ahead, put in a search for $100,000 homes for $100,000 in California. I remember that the majority of homes were up north in Clear Lake, this place called Clear Lake. I think it's close to Sacramento.
Yeah, no, clearly.
Yeah, and then there was like
Fishing.
Palm Springs, and then Descanso, and then there was a few in Fresno, right? There's 0 now. So that's to tell you where we at right now in California. You can't buy a parking spot in California for $100,000.
Well, they charge you $100,000 to park.
Right.
The parking rates is going up right now. It's
Right.
ridiculous. $50 to park on the street.
do you guys have
It's crazy.
do you guys have any?
We need to buy parking lots.
And you know, I will say this too: if you own a property, you could take advantage of the lack of properties that come available by renting a room or a space out and
Right.
charging a nice amount if you need some extra money. Like you can do that, or building an ADU and charging market rent or maybe
Right.
higher.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And we need to also talk about how people can start purchasing homes with family members
right.
and friends and things like that. Like that's where we come to because these prices are so high. Because
Right.
the average house is $900,000.
Right.
You got to make a lot of money to be able to qualify for that.
Yep.
But guess what? I literally just did a loan recently where, matter of fact,
Yes.
we did it together, right? So me and Clinton just did help close a transaction where you had the daughter, the mom, and
Right.
the grandparents all in
All
one
together, yes.
transaction, buying
Yeah.
a house together.
Buying a house together.
And I applaud that. I love
Yeah.
that because I'm like, that's where the world's coming to. And
Yep.
guess what? All of them can all share in one payment and
Right.
still stack their money. And eventually down the line, maybe they can go and buy a house for the granddaughter
Yeah.
and the mother. Yeah, I was gonna say the type of homes you might be able to find with 100K will be manufactured homes.
Oh, it's manufactured.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's what you could
Manufactured
potentially
homes,
find.
yeah.
Which what they don't talk about with manufacturing homes
Yeah.
is there's a rental space fee, or you have to pay your space rent,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
like
But now
$1,000 a
but
month.
Now
Yeah, it
I,
depends on the
now I
area,
think
but yeah.
now I think there's a law that's trying to be passed because of that. Because homes are now the most affordable homes are manufactured homes. There's a law that they're trying to push right now where the banks can now insure because there's an insurance part of that most banks don't actually want to actually. So they're trying to make sure that the banks can insure that these homes can be insured fully by the banks. And now they'll be able to finance. Most banks will be able to finance these homes fully.
Well, there's way you can. I have financing for these type of houses as well too. So for people who don't make that much money looking at, you can
Yeah.
buy these type of houses with little as 5% down.
Oh, okay.
Now, so there's financing for you don't even need the high credit score. It could be like 660. So there's opportunities where you can buy these type of properties.
Yeah.
Now as well too. Like
Yeah.
it was harder to finance them, but we have people that can do it.
$39,000.
$1,000.
And Idlewild. That's
Right.
crazy.
You live into the boonies, but
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
in a manufactured
Yeah,
home, but it's a
yeah,
home.
yeah,
It's a home.
That's not
It's
too
a
far
home.
out.
you said where?
They have some in Hemet too.
Okay.
But no, like I
Right.
said, there's programs for that. I see Vallejo, you
Right.
know, Bay Area. So there's programs like that, and that, you know, but if that's the type of house that you need to
16,000.
move
Ooh,
into,
Palm Desert.
yeah,
you go-
Nah,
bake.
something's wrong with that. 16,000. No, something's
How
wrong
long
with
has it
that
been on
one.
the market? That's
Some
what
of
you
that,
need to check.
No,
that's a
it-
typo.
It says, discover your perfect vacation
1,300
escape.
square feet. Jeez, that's crazy.
Nah,
Yeah,
that's-
we have to buy that. Start renting that out. Put that
The
on
sun might be,
Airbnb.
Oh,
the sun may
man.
be directly on top of that house. Yeah, it's hot up.
Yeah, that's
But yeah,
it. It's
but
in the middle of nowhere.
I
though.
mean, yes, it's doable, but at the same time, too, you have to be very flexible.
Yeah, that's why I was
You
like,
to
we
be
have to
very
look at that. That's why we
flexible,
need to get investment teams start buying houses like that and start putting them on Airbnb and rent them out.
There you go.
yeah. Right.
So that's what we need.
Don't
to
take
start
that
doing,
idea, y'all.
Join in on that idea. Let's do something big for the community. Let's go.
And so, I mean, and this is just to say that, you know, although opportunities don't look like is there for you, don't let your dream die down because of
Right.
what you think can happen.
Right.
So, I mean, you just gave a success story about a family purchasing a home. Do you guys have a
Right.
success story about someone, and it could be them, that didn't think they could buy a home, but they came to you guys and now
Right.
they're a homeowner? Do you have any stories of that?
I've been doing loans for 20 years. so I
Yeah,
got
man.
millions of
We
those
just
stories.
had one. We just closed one.
Yeah,
we just
exactly.
closed
There's all
one.
kind
I
of
mean,
stories like
yeah,
that.
Something that
so
can
many.
encourage
Well, I mean, I think that
people.
the average person, the average first time home buyer is like that. That's the status quo or the description of most first time home buyers is always in their minds. Oh, well, I always tell everybody is when I go back and I ask all my first time home buyers, what was the biggest obstacle in you trying to purchase? It's not that they didn't believe they can buy it. It's just that they didn't think they deserved it. Right. And at the same time, too, it's kind of like you have to be able, that's why you have to see yourself in that home first. And that's the thing. It's like there's all this doubt in your mind because it is going to be a little bit uncomfortable. It's a new thing you're doing.
Right.
Every time I work with home buyers, I
life-changing
can
thing
see
you're
that the frustration in them where they run, because, I mean, especially when you're in a category of, say, the first time home buyer market. That's a tough market to be in. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's a very tough market to be in because that's where the majority of first-time home buyers are. So if you see something that's priced very well and you don't make a move on it, there's over maybe 100 people that are looking at that home, right? Then they go very fast. So if you see something that's priced at below market, financeable, everything is good to go, that home there's going to be a bidding war a lot of times on that home, right? So that's because the market for first time home buyers is one of the biggest markets you'll find because that's where everybody falls in that category. Now it's possible, right? We can find that home for you. You just have to kind of think outside the box. Maybe I'll buy a little bit further out, right? Maybe I buy something like a fixer, right? And maybe fix that home up over time and then sell it and move into my dream home, right?
And there's loans for that too.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And or maybe I can buy it maybe a little because I mean as you go outside of San Diego County too, and I'm not pitching areas, but if you go outside of San Diego County, you can find a lot more brand new homes, right? With which a single family residence is detached for under 900, for under 800, right? Hemet is one of those places. Marietta is one of those places. You know, so when you're Riverside,
catching up, though.
yeah, yeah, slowly catching up. But that's how home
catching
ownership is. You know, that's how home ownership
But
is.
the people who bought 5, 6, 10 years ago,
Yeah.
they have the benefit of it now.
Absolutely.
Exactly,
Yeah.
It don't
exactly.
take long to gain wealth, depending on the situation, what's going on in the market.
Right.
You know
And,
what I
and
mean?
the thing about it is, they had to live somewhere. I remember I did an open house one time, and in Eastlake, and I randomly knew the couple that lived across the street, and the price of the property I think was selling was like $700 and something thousand. They purchased it about 6 years earlier for like 400 and something thousand, and I
Right.
remember they said, "Oh my gosh," we just thought like, "Oh my gosh, this is so much. This is." You know, like, we can afford it, but
Right.
my goodness, it's
Right.
a lot of money. And now they look back and was like, well, shoot, this is the best decision I ever made in my life.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Think of areas right now where there was once where low income, right, was considered low income, and I'll point out one, North Park. When I first moved to San Diego, North Park was considered that area where if you want affordable living and centralized close to California with a good transit system district, North Park is that place, right?
You moved to San Diego a long time ago. Then, no?
Yeah, since '98. So I mean, so you're looking at, and North Park was known as also one of the most walkable, had the best walk scores, other than downtown in San Diego. Now today, you cannot find a home in North Park under $1 million. Right today, right. So these are the things that you always got to look at. There's neighborhoods are changing consistently. Now North Park is now becoming one of those areas that are known for development. 12-story buildings going up for development, right? You've seen all this development in North Park, because now it's known as the art district in California, in San Diego. So people come from all the way from Oceanside to go around North Park, right? Because it's attracting that type of business. It's attracting. So when you look at areas that are changing, you want to make that investment early, right? Don't wait, because the prices ain't waiting on you.
Yeah,
right.
not.
The market is not waiting on you. I tell people I cannot control the market, and that's one of the things that I have to stress for first time on buying. I can't control the market.
So you mentioned out of San Diego County. What about for those families who may be looking at moving out of San Diego? I'm talking about maybe a different state. Like, what do you recommend? That's a good thing to do?
Absolutely. If it's something that you want, like you don't have to be in one. I mean, our minds and the narratives that we've been told makes us very immobile, right? It's kind of like we get caught up in the how to put it, the stagnation, the information stagnation, right? So I say, look, once you understand that it's a numbers, that you have to look at the numbers in terms of home ownership. Like if you have the ability to move out of California, right? And I'm not pitching this, but if you have the ability to move out of even San Diego County, right? Because some people who say I was going to move to Arizona to buy could still afford in California. There's still some affordable places in California. Just keep that in mind, right? That you can find homes for under $500. Right. It's just that when you look at the total average, right, and the density of homes in certain places like LA, San Diego, San Francisco, they have the majority of homes. Yes, the average is going to be a little bit higher. But if you go east, and I tell people this, East California is a very big state. We forget that. We can go all the way out to the border of Nevada, all the way out to the border of Colorado. So all those things are places where we not populating, and it's bare, right? So you can buy a home for less than $500,000 if you go east. You don't have to go across the over till you can go to El Centro, right?
Yeah.
And still you can be in California, right? But you don't have to go out of state. Now, if that's out of state is some way you want to look at, absolutely.
And to get into San Diego I'm glad you brought up El Centro, because to get to San Diego from El Centro, it's like less than 2 hours.
Less than 2 hours.
If you drive like Dion, you'd be here in 45 minutes.
That's a true statement. That is a true statement.
Right? So we forget. I mean, and that's the thing we forget. And that leads me to one of the things that I think we've been talking about, especially when you meet with a lot of legislators in California, is that we are one of those, we're the 5th largest economy in the world.
You know what? I just realized we were talking so much, I didn't realize it was almost 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Yeah, but real quick, we're the 5th largest economy in the world, so we really need to push innovation here, which in terms of a transit system going out east, right? If we can open up that area, I think that will solve a lot of our inventory problems.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Thank you, Dion.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Clinton, President Clinton.
Thank you
so much.
Don't forget to vote, y'all.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't forget, the polls close at 8 o'clock, so go now. All right, we'll see you guys same time, same place in a couple weeks. Until then, peace. We out.
Peace.
Thank you, guys. Thank y'all for listening. Appreciate y'all.